In this tutorial, we will have a look how we can make this camera follow. As you can see, so we will make this camera follow. And before I jump into the coding part, I want to thanks Guilherme Damasceno for donating me on Patreon. And if you guys want to do that, you can do on Patreon as well as in on YouTube, and by that you will unlock many benefits. You can check out the membership page. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this tutorial. So if I just go ahead and then click on this play button in the top, you will see camera just gonna be static. It's not gonna follow our player in the X or in the Y axis. So what we need to do, we basically need to basically need to make a script in order to make the follow. So if I move left and right, as you can see, the camera is not following at all. So we're gonna do that. So let's get out of play mode. So we will create a script for it, but before I do, I just want to zoom a little bit. So I will select my main camera in the hierarchy. Let's go over to inspector, then camera component, and then size. I'm gonna make it something like this much, and let's select the move tool in the scene view, and let's press down F in order to focus on it, and I'm going to drag it in the bottom somewhere like this, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit, something like this much, and this seems pretty much great, as you can notice. So now let's create a script for it. So let's head over to this project tab, assets, and then a script folder, or you can simply right click on this assets, then create, then move over to scripting, and then click on this mono behavior script, and you can name that script to something like camera follow or follow. I already created a script follow, as you can see right over here. So I'm going to select my select my main camera. Sorry, we're gonna select our any let's suppose select this main camera, and let's select the camera follow script, and let's drag it over to this add component section. So make sure you attach your camera follow script to the main camera. Make sure you just do that. So now we're gonna open up our camera follow script by double clicking on it. So first thing what we need a reference to our player position. Basically, if we select player in the hierarchy, go over to inspector, we need this player transform, which is we can say responsible for position, rotation, and scale. So we need a reference of this transform, then we can just follow that. So now let's go over to script, and let's go to top of our class, and let's declare a variable. Basically, we're gonna grab the reference of that player. So let's make a public transform, which is responsible for position, and we can call this one player position or player, and let's close that off with semicolon, and make sure you press down Ctrl S to save your script and move over to Unity. So underneath our camera follow script, we will able to notice a player transform just gonna pop up. So what we need to do there, we basically need to drag our player transform there. So we're gonna have the position. So if I select my main camera and then move over to my camera follow script, as you can see underneath our camera follow script player, and it says none transform, basically empty. So we will select our player game object in the hierarchy, and let's drag it there. Drag it there, and now we can see we have the player transform, basically this player transform, or you can simply say position. Now let's move over to our script, and we're gonna move over to this update function. So this update function runs every single frame we do know. So every single frame we need to chase or we need to follow this player game object. So what we're gonna do, so we're gonna type this transform dot position, and transform dot position over here basically referencing current position of this main camera. So the camera follow script is attached to this camera. So transform dot position, basically we just going over to this transform and accessing the position, and this position has x axis, y axis, and the z axis, as you can see. So what we will do, we will set our current position of that main camera equal to a new vector 3, because this transform is a transform dot position is a three-dimensional data. So that's why we need to set equal to a new vector 3, and this vector 3 just gonna have x axis comma y axis comma z axis, and let's close that up with semicolon. So let's suppose we just want to follow horizontally this player. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna replace this x with our player position x in the x axis. So we're gonna replace this x player dot position dot x. Basically we're just going over to this player transform, then position, and accessing the x position. So the x position of this main camera, just gonna be this player position in the x axis. As you can see, we replace the x position of our main camera with player position in the x, and we don't want to follow our player in the y-axis. So in the y, we're gonna pass transform dot position dot y. Transform dot position dot y basically means current position of that main camera itself in the y-axis, since we don't want to follow our player in the y-axis. So that's why. But if you do want, so make sure you pass right over here player dot position dot y. And we're gonna do the same thing in the z axis. So we're not gonna set it to 0 or something like that. Make sure you just set transform dot position dot position, transform dot position dot z. So it's basically means current position of that main camera in the z axis. Now we're gonna save our script by Control S. Now let's move over to Unity. So we only just replace this x with our player position in the x axis. So our main camera in the x axis just gonna follow player position in the x axis, since we just only change it that, and we just lift the y and the z axis itself of that current position in the y and z axis. So our main camera should follow our player in the x axis or horizontally only. So let's have a look. So I'm gonna click on this play button in the top in order to play my game, and let's take a look on this. So as soon as we're gonna try to move left and right, we will see our main camera in the x-axis or horizontally just gonna follow our player. So now if I move, as you can see, indeed it's following, and that seems pretty much cool, as you can see. So this pretty much cool. So I hope you get the idea. So I'm gonna get out of play mode. So I hope you get the idea that how you can do it. So lastly, thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.